What's up, guys, and welcome to today's. What's up, guys, and welcome to today's. I can't spit the word out apparently. What's up, guys, and welcome to today's vlog. By the way, anyone who's nervous about doing social media or filming themselves, take that intro as an example of basically how much I struggle in front of a camera on a consistent basis. If I can do it, anyone can do it. That being said, getting into how the past couple of days went, we've had a pretty boring week, so this vlog isn't going to consist of a bunch. It's going to mostly consist of rolling footage, but I did want to talk about two things in this vlog today. One of which being coaching during competitions. One thing that drives me crazy, and I see it all the time, is bad directional coaching in competition. What do I mean by that? It's when coaches don't give any direction during the competition. Like when their student is competing, all they're screaming is go, 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 move, move, triangle, armbar, and they're not giving their student any actual direction on what to do, right? Screaming triangle and armbar while your student is on their back in side control is not going to help them. It really bothers me when I see a student struggling in a really bad position or even in a good position where they can't get a finish and their coach isn't really telling them anything. They're just screaming out nonsense to them and not giving them any direction, right? So like what you should be looking for in a coach is your coach to be giving you actual direction. I know I keep saying the word direction, but what you're going to want is that direction from your coach. What are some examples of that? Let's say if you're stuck in bottom side control, your coach shouldn't be screaming, get up, get up, get up. Your coach should be telling you, hey, I'm going to need you to frame off the hip here. I'm going to need you to get your right arm in front, start framing in front, get to your left hip, pull your knee between the two of you guys, and then you can start to recover your guard. If we're in closed guard, I want you to set up a triangle or an arm bar. I'm not just going to scream triangle arm bar, right? I'm going to say, hey, whoever the student is, we can use Brooke as an example this weekend. She was looking to set up a rear naked choke, and I'll put some of these examples in the video of like how I like to coach, but she's having a hard time finishing with her left arm. All right, Brooke, if we can't finish here, we're going to start switching to our right arm, driving it across, and get our choke finished, right?
Squeeze. Pull your right elbow back to your body. If you can't finish here, Brooke, start cross-facing and then open up the choke more. Yes. Back and forth. Hand flight.
Your coach should always be giving you some kind of direction on what to do. They shouldn't just be screaming at you and making no sense, and then after the match pull you to the side and be like, hey, you had an armbar set up here, this is how you do it, right? That's the wrong time to tell them. You need to be telling them in competition. So if you guys have a coach that's really not good at giving you any direction in competition and you want to be a competitor, even if you love your coach, you might want to evaluate who you have coaching you. Next thing is going to be going over how I deal with bigger opponents. I know that the internet does not think I roll with anyone bigger than me, but I do on a pretty consistent basis, as well as compete in a lot of absolute tournaments, and I have some really good ways of dealing with bigger opponents. I know it's something people really struggle with, so it's something I wanted to give you guys some insights to. And for reference, a lot of people think I'm like 6'2", 6'3", and 240 pounds. I am not. I am 5'7", 190 pounds. I'm not a particularly huge guy. Don't get me wrong. I understand that I'm strong for my size. I'm not tiny, right? But I do know how to deal with people bigger than me. Yes, I don't know what it's like to be 135 pounds, 120 pounds, but at least I can give you some insights into what I do against bigger opponents. So stay tuned to check it out. Alright guys, here we're going to go over how to deal with bigger opponents. Donovan's not significantly bigger than me, but, you know, a little bit bigger than me. So I'm just going to go back a little bit, and you'll see this twice in a row, where Donovan's going to start, like, posting on my shin or knee, and I'm going to look to start setting up, like, grips on his wrist, right? So immediately you see me looking to grab this wrist grip. He kind of breaks away. He does it again. I look to grab this wrist grip. Why this is important, because you're going to look to see me set up an arm drag in the future. Right here. So, it's hard to see because of the angle, but Donovan makes the grip here again. Right, so I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to push it to the inside of my body as I reach my arm across, getting to this arm drag. Now, he does a good job at basing out, so I don't pull him past me, but because he starts driving his weight backwards here, I'm just going to push into him and almost do like a double leg, winning the top position. Real quick, before we get really deep into this, like while the video is playing through and I'm finding more positions, right? 3 main positions we're going to talk about is the headquarters and what I do to use that to pass, mainly going to be leg drags as well as applying pressure. And then another one I'm going to talk about is how I like using leg entries to sweep or take top on my opponent or even finish my opponent. You'll see me do that 2 different ways, right? So one of the ways I'm going to do it is from a seated position where I look to actually entangle the wet legs and either finish or take top, or what you'll see is me be in a bottom half guard, and I'm going to show an example of this half guard entry I use a ton and I've finished tons of competitions with. I had to stand up and go to a position I really like. So you can see I kind of grabbed his ankle grip immediately. I've already started to pass it across my body. But what I'm going to do here is push it right into a leg drag. Right, so you can see I pushed it off right into a leg drag. So I'm in a pretty good position here. Eventually you'll see me punch my left hand to the mat and look to start passing. So right here, I punch my left hand to the mat. Now, I would like it to be straighter up and down, creating an actual frame between the 2 of us, right? Because here he's going to be able to start recovering. As he does, see the way he goes to turtle, right? Now, I know Donovan's a leg locker, so you're going to see something pretty cool happen here. And something I'd like to explain. Right here, Donovan starts basically looking to roll through and grab my leg for like a victor roll. So what am I going to do? I start weaving my right leg on top to stop his ability to roll. And then it's really hard to see, but quickly I push it. I basically take my leg and I push his leg through, and I windshield wiper my other leg over the top, right? Stopping him from being able to roll through to my leg. Now again, we're going to go right back into a leg drag. The last thing I'm going to cover in this round, Donovan's going to drop back for a leg entanglement, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step up here. I have control of his right leg with my right hand, or sorry, his left leg with my right hand, okay? His leg is behind mine. He has a grip on it. And then what I'm going to look to do is actually backstep his leg here, right? But I'm not able to backstep out. So right here, my foot's by his hip, right? Okay, so see my foot's by his hip. He has this grip, and he basically wants to get me into like a single leg X or a single ashi here. So what I'm going to do after the failed back step is I'm actually going to take my knee, I'm going to drive it back into the inside and pop right to mount. This is a really cool sequence. So see, I'm going to step in. I'm going to start popping my knee through. You can see me drive it right into that mounted position. Really, really cool sequence. All right. It's hard to see not in slow motion. So I'm going to go back step, right, and then I'm going to just drive my knee through. So you'll see me use this passing sequence a lot. Basically, I'll start walking to my left, right, and then I'm going to immediately get a grip on his leg, switch directions, basically high step my left leg, and sometimes I'll high step, sometimes I'll leg drag. Basically what I want to do is get his leg outside of my body here. Right now he does a good job getting a knee and elbow connection. So what I'm going to do is take my right hand to the top of his leg, look to start pushing it by, and immediately as I push it by, you're going to see me go and replace that wedge with my knee. Right, so now I can just go down to a knee on belly, right, look to start getting pressure on him, And then from here, I basically have my pass. He can turn down, but he's going to turn himself right into a turtle. Whenever I'm in this half guard, this is one, you're going to see me talk about this a few more times in this video. Whenever I'm in this half guard, especially if someone starts putting their weight over the top of me, they start reaching in for a darce, or they start reaching over the top for the guillotine, what I'm going to do is do like a knee lever, deep half entry, whatever you want to call it. And then what I want to do is basically off center his weight over the top of me. Then I want to look to enter this leg. And I'll actually include some competition footage up in the right corner here, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. With this little screen record I'm using, it's a little bit tough, but I'll include a couple videos of me hitting this in competition. This is like one of my most used positions to finish guys in the absolute division, especially really big guys. So, as you can see, Jake starts reaching through for this darce. As he does that, watch. I'm basically going to lever him over the top, getting his weight over committed here. And now what I'm going to look to do is throw my hips up and enter this leg. Right. Now from here, we end up getting in a little bit of a battle in this one, right? But I have the leg entanglement. I end up not being able to finish. He ends up spinning through, but guess what? I win top position, right? Go right to a round drag. Now we have a little bit of a wrestling scramble where I'm able to get out, but we ended up resetting in the middle, and I ended up pulling guard again. We're going to go back into this half guard, right? I'm going to be doing this reverse arm drag now here instead. And I'm going to do that same exact thing, right? Where I just kind of throw my hips, making his weight get overcommitted. His hips are high. And then I'm going to throw my hips up here, right? This one, he ends up reacting a little bit more, but I'm able to get up onto my shoulders, pull his leg in as he goes to pull away. Then I'll end up getting like a belly down straight ankle. He doesn't tap it first. I readjust my grip and I get my finish. Tim is pretty big compared to me. He's like, I don't know, I think like 6'3", 250 pounds. But he's going to start reaching over my head, looking for this same type of over-the-top grip, like guillotine grip. And I'm going to do that same knee lever right here. See how I can bring all their weight over the top of me? Right, so when I do this, as I go to lift my hips up and entangle this leg, Tim does a really good job underhooking my leg here, right, and coming up to the top position, right? But that was able to at least help me escape the guillotine, and you'll actually see me use that escape later and win the top position. So he did a good job of escaping the side control, but now we're back into essentially that headquarters. Same thing, head low. His knee is down and bent, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to fold his legs together right here. As I fold his legs together, you're going to see me do some more leg weaving, where I'm going to weave my right leg over the top first, right? See me weave this leg over the top to pin both his legs. Now I'm going to do a back step with my left leg and pass around to the side and take this side control position. I decide to let go. Right, and now I'm going to go back in to look to start passing. We're going to go back into the same position. See the way this leg kind of stays at this angle, right? If I feel that his leg is sagging to the inside, it's not really a threat to me. He's not able to off-balance me he's not able to off-balance me with that leg. Now, as it comes to the center, it can be a little bit more threatening, but since his foot's down and flat, I don't really have anything to worry about here. So now I'm looking to establish my underhooks. Right, get a good position on him. And then right here, I'm just going to force a half guard. So basically, I'm going to step my right leg inside as I pop my left leg up and through, right, forcing that half guard position. Right, half guard's one of my favorite ways to pass. Here he goes to sit up and through and attack a Kimura, but he's actually going to expose his back here. So I look to start taking the back. I don't overcommit to my back take because he starts to turn back into it. But as he starts to turn back in, I'm just going to take the mounted position instead. Basically, as he's reaching around me here, I'm going to end up looking to set up a quick arm drag. Boom. Immediately, I'm back into that same kind of passing scenario. I try to backstep over. He does a good job at recovering, right? And then from here, I'm going to do kind of the same pass I showed earlier with Doobie. I'm just going to get control of that leg, right? And I'm going to push it as I step my leg up and around, right? Essentially into a leg drag. And I'm going to take that pass. Again, I kind of let him recover, and then I'm going to do that same exact leg drag. This time, the only difference is I'm not going to step around it. I just basically move my knee out and away because he has a grip. If you look, he has a grip actually on my ankle, right? So I can actually just hit this leg drag without moving my foot, put pressure on top of him, clear his frame from the top, right? And then bring my chest down, getting my underhooks, and finishing my pass. Last thing I want to go over. So here, I try to wrestle up here, and obviously, Tim's pretty big, so he gets this actually really tight really tight guillotine grip on me. So I'm gonna start trying to clear the guillotine, pull my head out, and I do a good job here, and I look to butterfly him, right? But he does a very good job of catching his balance. I don't have any frame stopping his arm from being able to post out here, and then he actually gets that guillotine grip again on my head, right? So what I'm going to look to do is get into that half guard. This time I didn't so much use as much of a knee lever because how far over his weight is, and I actually have a butterfly hook. So I bring his weight over the top as I kind of use this frame inside of his elbow. Now from here I'm going to look to pop my head out, and I can actually entangle this leg, right? Now, I know I said entangle his leg, but as I look to entangle it, he does a good job at extracting it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to win that top position, look it right back into that headquarters. I'm going to put my hands on the mat. I'm going to do that same thing where I split both of his legs. You're going to watch me weave over the top. Do it in slow motion. Weave over the top. Step back behind both knees. And again, we're going to win that side control position. He does. All right, guys, so this is the last one I'm going to go over because this is getting a little bit long. But basically here, Pat is trying to stay away from me. So what I'm going to do is look to keep pushing him backwards with my guard, right? And he's staying very square and away, right? So it's going to make it very easy for me to look to pull myself underneath him, slide into a leg entanglement, and use that to take the top position. Now what you're going to see me do is enter into that same headquarters. This time I'm doing a low headquarters, and I'm going to push my knee through. All these concepts are the exact same, right? A lot of these, these are basically the positions I really like to use against bigger opponents, right? At least this is what I find successful. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the vlog. I'll be putting out another one Thursday. The rest of this week doesn't seem like it's going to be super entertaining. I have a couple ideas for what I want to do, but I'm more interested to see what you guys would like. I'm thinking about possibly introducing you guys to all the reptiles if that's something you're interested in. I can kind of show you all of them. I can give you a little insight to their background, where they're from, how I like to take care of them, things like that. I'm also thinking about having a little discussion about kind of my journey with TRT, something I started about 8 months ago that's really changed my life and helped me get back to competing and getting back to be able to do all the things I like. I know when I kind of revealed the fact that I had started TRT at 32 years old, a lot of people were interested in that, reached out to me, and had a lot of questions about it. So if that's something you guys would like me to cover, Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you whether to do it or not. For me, it was medically necessary, and I keep my numbers within like a normal range. I'm not trying to be a superhero. I'm not trying to technically be on steroids. I keep my test level between 7 and 800. But if you guys want to know how I feel, how I was feeling beforehand, some of the things I'm dealing with, and why I chose to do it, I can definitely get into that for you guys. Another thing I can do is go over doing social media. I mean, for the most part, I am in the process of releasing an instructional about it. So, but one thing I can talk about is, getting comfortable in front of the camera. Something you saw at the beginning of the video, I'm not super comfortable with. It's taken me a long time to be able to do this. Things you can do to practice and stuff like that. But if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be posting tons of videos on here about technique. I'll be putting out my 2 vlogs a week, and we're going to keep focused on the PGF draft coming up in February, and then from there, hopefully, we'll get drafted and we'll be in the actual PGF, and I'm going to take you guys along with me for that whole journey.